Hello everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and welcome to my cozy kitchen. How you guys doing today? Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day. I want to share a really interesting dish with you today. So this is a very traditional European dish. I'm going to make braised cabbage for my meal today. It's a lighter dish, great for the warmer weather, which we are starting to get into at this time. Although we're in Minnesota and it's taken a while to get to summer. But anyway, I want to show you how to make a really wonderful braised cabbage dish. And guess what? It is a one skillet meal. Very easy to do. So let me show you what's in that right now. Okay, so here's some of the items that you will need to make your dish for today. You will need olive oil, bay leaf, dry thyme, and I said we're putting curry in it, so I've got a yellow curry. This is a bulk yellow curry that I buy from the store. All right, now let's go into the vegetables. We're gonna need a minced garlic, or you can use whole garlic clove. Can't have a cabbage dish without the cabbage, so we have a 2.5 pound head of cabbage. I've got 2 juicer carrots. These are a larger carrot. This weighed about just under 10 ounces. Or I'm sorry, just about 10 ounces, but they're not peeled yet. And then I've got a nice medium-sized yellow onion, and I've got a nice large sweet pepper. This was an orange pepper. You can use whatever color you want, or you do not need to use it if you do not like. All right, next thing you're gonna need is some chicken. I'm using chicken breast. This is 2.5 pounds of chicken breast. Now, it's still in the package, so once we cut this open, obviously there's gonna be some liquid in here, so you're gonna lose some of that weight. But anyway, it's about 2 pounds. Then, I'm doing another twist on mine. I'm adding some Brussels sprouts to mine. This is a 2-pound bag of Brussels. I'm only gonna use 1 pound of it. I'll show you how to put all this together, so don't worry about the ingredients at this time. Again, this is an optional item. I really like Brussels. Goes along with cabbage, obviously, very well, so we're gonna put that in there. Now, a couple other ingredients. I'm using this liquid chicken concentrate instead of a chicken stock or a chicken broth. And now what I have in here, I've got 2 cups of water, and I've got 2 tablespoons of this chicken concentrate. Also, I added 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Now, one thing I'm gonna do when I top off this whole dish, I'm going to add some chopped curly parsley to it, fresh, and I've also got some fresh dill. All right, let me show you to put all of this together so it's not so complex looking. A lot of ingredients here, but it's actually a really simple dish. All right. So let's get after it. Okay guys, so I have my 12-inch skillet here. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of olive oil to my pan. Just like so. And we're going to set that off to the side. And we're going to cut our onion. So take your yellow onion, cut your ends off. Right down through the middle and pull your skin off. Just like so, okay? And then we're going to dice our onion, okay? So we want to do about a 1/4 inch dice, kind of nice and small. Let's cut across, cut through the middle, and crab walk your fingers back. Just like so, okay? When you get to the end down here, just cut around just like that. All of this goes right into your pan. And repeat. And that's it. This is what they look like. It's nice and small. And now we'll do our carrots. And remove your peeling. Now what you want to do is cut your carrot down so it's a little more manageable. That's what I do, so it's easier to do it. Go ahead and trim that end off. These are juicer carrots. They're already trimmed a little bit, but you want to cut that top piece off like this one here. It's kind of brown, so we don't want that in there. And you don't really take off a lot of carrot. As you can see, that's not too much, right? Okay. And again, we want to cut these into 1/4 inch dice, okay? So you cut your carrot down so it's more manageable. And there you go. Just like that. Perfect. And in the pot. And repeat. Okay, we got all the carrots in the pan. And let's do this pepper here. So we're going to take the seed out. I like to cut them right through the stem end, through the end here. And you just take your fingers in here and pop that right out. It comes right out. Very easy, okay? Again, you can cut this down so it's a little more manageable. And cut across. Again, we're going to dice this. Okay, just like so. And across. You don't have to be perfect. It's a home-cooked meal. And repeat. All right. And there you have it. Your vegetables are cut in the pan. Now, what I like to do is I like to cut part of the cabbage and add it to that vegetable to cook it a little bit. And then we'll add the rest of the cabbage at the toward the end with the Brussels when we do the actual braising part. Okay. So we want to trim off the kind of crappy leaves on the outside. So it's got a little dark spot. Just trim that right off, just like so. All right, now you want to cut your cabbage through the middle, through the stem, just like that. Okay, there's your core. So go ahead and cut it again down through the core, so you're quartering it. And let's go ahead and pull that core out of there. Just like that. Okay? And there you go. All right, so toss that off to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1/4 of this cabbage. I'm going to cut it into small pieces. And I'm going to add that to the vegetable when I do my sauteing. Again, cut this nice and small, this part. The other cabbage we're going to cut a little bit larger, and I'll show you that. Dump all this right in the pan. There we go. Okay, so that's beautiful. And there you go. All right, let me get this on the stove and show you what we do next. All right, let's go ahead and turn on our stove. Kick it all the way up to high. Give them a nice saute. Now it looks like a lot, but guess what? It will cook down because vegetables are full of water. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add a tablespoon of minced garlic to this. Okay, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Let's give that a little mix. All right, now while this is cooking, we're going to cut up the rest of the cabbage, and we need to cut up that chicken breast. So just make sure you keep an eye on your vegetables cooking here while you're away from your pan. All right, I got my cabbage here. I'm going to cut these in larger pieces this time. Let's go ahead and cut the cabbage. Basically, these 1/4 I cut into thirds. And these are going to be more about a 1-inch cube. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect because it's a home-cooked meal. There we go, just like so. Just throw that in a little bucket. It's a little beat up on the outside, how about that? And repeat. All right, I got all my cabbage cut and I have it into my container here. Now, Brussels, that's next. I've got 1 pound of Brussels in this container. So I just weighed them out with my scale just to make sure. Now you're gonna have a little less than 1 pound because you're gonna take the stems off. So cut that stem off and then cut them in half. And then go ahead and throw them right in that container. Just like so. Just like that, okay? And repeat. All right, and there you go. Don't worry about the leaves if they're coming off, that's fine. Doesn't matter, it's gonna incorporate with the cabbage. Now, I will say this, I'll add this to this little video here. If you're not using Brussels, I would probably get a little bit more cabbage, just to make it a little more cabbage heavy. You can also use sauerkraut too. A lot of people like to use sauerkraut. But there you go, these are ready to go into your pan. Now, next thing we'll do is cut up the chicken breast. This here. Okay, let's open up the chicken. Pull the chicken out. Try to keep the juice in the bag so you have a little less mess. Let that drain in there. These are those nice chicken breasts they have at Costco. They're random breasts, so you don't really exactly know, how many ounces or how many pounds are to each bag. And then you just pour that juice out. Okay. Now with the chicken, I'm going to cut this small too. So go ahead and cut your breast in thin strips like so. All right, just like that. And then cut across. So these are about 1/2 to 1 inch cubes. And I'll show you what they look like. That's that there, okay? And repeat. And there we go. Chicken breast is done. Okay, I'm just going to leave this on the board until my other vegetables are a little bit more finished in the pan. Not a lot more finished, but just a little bit more sauteed on those. All right, let's get back over to the stove and show you what the vegetables are looking like. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, I'm just letting the liquid sweat out of the vegetables just a little bit, and then I want to go ahead and add that chicken. Okay, chicken right here. Go ahead and dump that right in. All right, let's give it a little stir. And now what you want to do is cook this until the chicken starts to turn white. All right, doesn't have to be completely cooked through because we're going to go ahead and braise this as well. This is also really good with kielbasa or Polish or a brat type sausage. You could even use hot dogs. We wanted to go a little on the healthier side with chicken. All right, just let that cook. And we'll get to the next step here and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay guys, so you can see that the chicken is already starting to turn nice and white. It's only been cooking for about 5 minutes roughly. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the curry, thyme, and my bay leaf to this, okay? So that's a 1/2 teaspoon of dry thyme, 2 bay leaf, and 1 tablespoon of yellow curry. These are all optional, so if you're not into curry, don't do it, but we like that flavor. There's beautiful, look at that. Give it a nice mix so it's evenly spread through. This is that time you're going to add the rest of your cabbage, and you're going to add your Brussels to the mix, okay? Let's go ahead and throw the cabbage over the top. Now it looks like a lot, but it will cook down. We have a beautiful meal here. Let's go ahead and set that right on top. Throw those Brussels right on top. Make sure your pan gets really hot. So make sure it's all the way up on high. Let it go ahead and cook for just a couple minutes here. Getting really hot. We're going to go ahead and add this stock to it, which is 2 cups of water and 2 tablespoons of liquid chicken concentrate. If you have chicken stock, then just use 2 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth. If you have a bouillon cubes, you're going to have to adjust the flavor based on the salt content of the bouillon or base that you have. You also got to make sure you have a cover next to your stove ready to rock and roll. All right, let's go ahead and add that stock. And then I don't have a cover for my pan, so I use aluminum foil. Go ahead and cover that up nice and tight. You can hear it come up to a nice hard sort of boil inside. Let that go for just a couple minutes and then drop it down to a really low simmer. And you're gonna wanna simmer this for about 30 minutes. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. All right, I let it cook on high for 2 minutes. I'm gonna drop it down to a really low simmer. I keep that cover on nice and tight. I can feel how hot it is on the top, so that steam is coming right up to the top, getting really nice and hot. Just let it just seal all in nice and tightly, and you're going to just have a fantastic dish. What I probably will do in about 15 minutes, I'll go ahead and take the cover off and take a look at it and maybe give it a little stir to get the rest of the Brussels and the cabbage kind of mixed back into the rest of the vegetables so everything cooks a little more evenly. But this is what you do. All right, we'll give it 15. All right, my 15-minute timer just went off. Let's go ahead and check our cabbage dish. Woohoo! That looks good. A lot of liquid in there. That's why I only did those 2 cups. You get a lot of liquid off your vegetables, but that looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and mix that in a little bit more. Now this will cook down a little bit more than this because the top vegetables are still a little on the al dente side, I will say. But go ahead and mix this together a little bit better. Be nice to have a bigger pan for this much that I'm doing, but I don't. We're making do with what we have, right? I think it looks really good. All right, just go ahead and put that cover back on top and just continue to let it simmer. And I would say probably, like I said, we said we are going to simmer this for 30 minutes. I'm probably going to be about really close to right on that number. With this much liquid, you're not going to burn your product, that's for sure. That looks really good. And I got a really nice ciabatta bread today to eat with this for dinner. All right, let's go ahead and cover that back up and let it cook. All right, we got it all covered up. Got it on a low temp. We're just gonna let that cook nicely. I'll go ahead and set my timer for 15 more minutes. I'll take the cover off and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a recap on our non-traditional braised cabbage European dish. A little non-traditional. A lot of times they use sausage in it, kielbasa, Polish, one of those different type of sausage. I'm using chicken in mine today, as you've seen in the video. Now, let's give you a little bit of the actual recipe as I did it, okay? I did kind of explain some of the amounts that are in there, but anyway, I will give you the amounts right now. So 1 tablespoon olive oil in my skillet. I used 1 each yellow onion, which I diced in a 1/4 inch dice. It was about a medium size. 2 large juicer carrots. Those are the ones that are clipped on the ends, or well, at least the stem end. And that was 1/4 inch dice after I peeled them. I used 1 large sweet pepper. That's optional. Make sure you seed it. I cut that into 1/4 inch dice. I used 1 medium head of green cabbage. It was approximately 2.5 pounds. After you core it and everything, you probably got about 2 pounds exactly. I used 1 pound of Brussels. Obviously, once you cut the stem off, a little bit of that part, then you have a little bit less. But anyway, I started out with 1 pound of Brussels. Cut them in half. I used 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, which you've seen how I sliced it and then diced it, and those are about 1/2 inch cubes. I used 2 each bay leaf. I used a 1/2 teaspoon of dry thyme, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. You can use clove. I would just probably only use 1 clove because it's stronger. I used 2 tablespoons of chicken concentrate. Again, this was this one here, with 2 cups of water. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Again, these are optional items. You don't have to do that. We like that little bit of that vinegary sourness, but 2 tablespoons is not a lot to this amount of product. I use 1 tablespoon of this yellow curry that I talked about. Again, I get this at the grocery store. A lot of times I find this product in the deli area, these little packs. Really good curry, I love this stuff. And then I haven't put any pepper or anything in here. What I will probably do is add some black pepper when my timer goes off here. And I would probably use no more than a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then go ahead and taste everything and see if the salt's right. If you feel like it needs a little more salt, just go ahead and add a little bit of salt to it. Otherwise, that's pretty much it on this segment of our curry braised cabbage with Brussels. And again, this is a very traditional European dish with a non-traditional twist. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was entertaining and interesting. Another thing I'm going to add at the end is I'm going to add some fresh chopped parsley and fresh chopped dill. Those are going to go on the dish at the end. I will go ahead and post a photograph of this dish when everything is completed so you can see what I'm doing. The other thing I bought today was I bought a nice piece of ciabatta bread. I'm gonna toast it off. We're gonna eat that with this because it's almost more soup-like with all that vegetable and the juice. It's literally like almost a cabbage soup. So, having said all that, I'm gonna show you what everything looks like at the end of this 15-minute time that I'm waiting on. And again, everything involved with the cook time, the prep time, it takes about an hour roughly. It's taken me a little bit longer because I'm doing this video and I have to stop and start a lot of things. So, but if you're doing it at home, unless you're not very savvy with a knife, it might take you a little bit longer. Oh, and also I just want to add this too. Whenever you're cutting raw chicken or raw meat, try to use a nylon board. I always have a nylon board for my raw products, and then I use my wood board. I do the nylon board too for vegetables, but you got to make sure you really sanitize it well. But I have a wood board that I like to use as well. Do not cook, or I should say, do not cut raw products on a wood board. I just highly recommend not doing that because it's porous. It's harder to sanitize a wood board. Try to use a nylon board when you're cutting raw meat, okay? That's my tip for the day. Anyway, I'm gonna show you what this looks like when everything is finished. All right, 15 minutes is up. Shut that timer off. Let's go ahead and uncover our pan. Woo, look at that. That looks beautiful. Got all that nice liquid in there. All right, that was great. So that braised cabbage looks fantastic. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me some thumbs up and please subscribe. Also, leave me comments at the end of the video. I appreciate that. I'll answer the comments as soon as I see them. Hit that notification bell, ding, 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 ding. Again, please subscribe. It'll be awesome. And you'll get the updates on the videos as they roll out, which as you've seen and looked through my video selection, I got a lot of different things that I'm doing. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Chef Leroy and out.